Hey beautifuls, Hannah here from Reality Awareness, of course, because you're on my page, of course, right? And I'm going to do some psychic readings today, and I wanted to also just check in with how you guys are feeling, because we're not that long away from where's the solstice coming up on Sunday, and it's the solar eclipse. I think it's a solar eclipse. It is a solar eclipse, right? And that's coming up, so in a couple of days. So I think we're like 5 days away from it, but I'm just curious if people are already starting to feel the vibe of it already. So hey beautiful, say hi when you're here. When you're joining live, let me know that you're here, and if you're watching the replay, you can hashtag replay, of course. So I'm doing some psychic readings, but I'm just tuning in to see how you guys are feeling as well. So I'm gonna share this if I can bring it up, and checking in. I've been filming all day, so hence like leaning against the couch. I've been filming for the ear chakra consciousness, filming for manifesting magic, which by the way guys, I've reopened the doors for manifesting magic. I'm not sure if you've seen. Yes, psychic readings, and yes, everything is in chaos and need the love. Yes, my accent from Australia. From Australia. So yeah, so but yeah, manifesting magic is open. So I've been filming all day for manifesting magic and for ear chakra consciousness, and I close the doors to manifesting magic, which is how to build your online business and be able to put your gift out into the world as you see me do it. You guys can do it too. This is like the first course I've released where it's like all the tech that I've ever learned and putting it all together for you so that you can literally put your business out into the world as well, especially if you're a healer or drawn to doing that sort of work. So yeah, so I'm leaving the doors open to manifesting magic until the end of July, which is like a ridiculously long time. And seriously, if I open the doors to manifesting magic again, it won't be 222. It's like 222. It's like ridiculous. But when I open it next time, it will be 997. So if you guys have been called to that, or if you want to put your business online, manifesting magic is open. And that's what I've been filming all day alongside the ear chakra consciousness, which I'm really, I just like feel like in bliss mode after filming the ear chakra consciousness. Like it's just like, it's such a different frequency, it's such a different energy, and yeah, I feel really humbled to be able to even be birthing the ear chakra consciousness on the earth. So it's quite something else. And the intro video I think I'm going to upload so that you guys can see it and get a feel for it, because it's something else. It's just like, oh my heart. It's so special. So if you guys are in the Life Purpose Mentorship, you're going to get first access. So I'm just sharing this and I'll be totally present with you guys, just sharing this. And Trust Intuition is open, but Trust Intuition and the Inner Circle, they close next week. Yeah. So if you guys are being called to that, there's not much long to get in there. But we do have this solstice solar eclipse coming up on Sunday, it is, and we're doing a live ceremony for that. It's like be the dark moon, new moon energy as well. So I'm really curious what streams through us after, like that was so next level, that full moon ceremony that we did. Oh my goodness, so next level. All right, so I didn't bring my computer up because the video is editing and stuff, but I might just do it so I've got the comments here as well, so you guys can see. Oh, like full close up today. I'm like, ah, so close. Okay. All right, and that's why I did it, so I can see you guys here, because I'm just gonna leave my computer, actually, I'm not gonna touch it. All right, so is Tammy still here? Because I did see that Tammy wanted a card before. I'm just gonna check, she's still here. Loving manifesting magic. I know, it's something else, isn't it? It's such an energy in there. It's like, I don't know, it's different, but it's being able to put your dreams out into reality. I think that's the biggest piece about it, right? It's like, yeah, now you can actually pull into that. Channel your magic into the world. It's literally why I loved teaching myself everything about it, because I could just be like straight onto it and yeah, really flowing out into the world of what, as soon as it comes through spirit, I'm like putting it out into the world. Okay, awesome. So Tammy's still here. I am going to bring this up on the internet as well, because I need to Need to see the comments on a longer thing than they just scroll past. Much cleaner. Well, it's not technically my couch. It's an Airbnb that I'm staying at, but yes, hearing it's almost the same. All right, almost bringing it up. So Tammy, I did pull a card for you. And the card is stay optimistic. Or I'm going to see if I can turn this live stream around, seeing as though I'm sitting so close to it today. Saying hi, so close. I think because I've had it so far away for ages, being on the other thing. All right, don't need to hear my voice double time. All right, let me see if I can turn this around. How do I remember? I haven't turned the camera around for ages. Let me just see if it'll let me. Or if it's going to, hang on. I used to do this all the time. I don't know why I haven't done it for ages. Okay. Yay! I remembered. Okay, so this one is for Tammy. Stay optimistic. Your dreams are coming true. Don't quit right before the miracle occurs. Hold that faith is what I keep getting there for you, Tammy. And I feel like you're getting like a big download, or it feels like you're getting a big download of information, or it feels like you're being like ripped apart. Like it's like this. So see the mountain over here? And it's like obviously got a waterfall or something on it, but what it looks like is like stream through of information, yeah, through crown download, waterfall information, but also like being ripped open. Like, and I just, not in like a bad way, I feel like you're being like, you're opening. And if you're about to watch the ear chakra consciousness, well, that's what it's all about. So kind of no surprise, but it's really, really connected, like deep into the like opening, but I feel like deep heart openings for you has been going on as well. So it's almost like, yeah, stripped back, stripped open, stripped back. Yeah, it's just like, and it's almost like, how much more could I take, right? That's what it kind of feels like. But I'm getting, it's like, it's just up the path. It's just around the corner. Like, just hang in there. It's just literally not that long, yeah? So, yeah, just hang in there. This could be any bird on the rock, but what's coming to mind, like there's a little bird sitting on the rock there with her. And I feel like, you know, well, it kind of looks like a seagull. And the seagull in the animal book is very much about, like, hang on, let me have a look. I'm just going to read it. So this is from the Animal Spirit Guide book. You're opening up communication with the realm of nature spirits, particular fairies and water sprites. It's time to clean up your home environment and let go and recycle as much as you can. And that's where I feel like part of that stripping back or stripped back or, you know, opening is really coming into play with that. I feel like it's very much around that, you know, like you're letting go of so much stuff. It just feels like just letting go, constant letting go of like, oh my God, I didn't think there's any more, you know? And I feel like that's part of where, you know, that stay optimistic, it's coming, you know, your dreams are coming true in a sense of like, there is a bit more, but hold faith, because what you're asking for and what you've been working towards is all like, it just feels like it's all of a sudden just going to go and come into play or something like that, right? So yeah, so that's Tammy. Stay optimistic. Your dreams are coming true. So yes, hi people. So you're all joining live. I'm just going to move my laptop closer because I'm all comfy here after filming all day. Channeling some pretty important stuff through the ear chakras and all these things. Okay. So let me have a look. Okay, so is Teresa Kimball still here? So always just ask and let you guys know. So Tammy says, yes, cleaning out my house, my body, my negative beliefs. Feel like I'm out of the edge of a cliff ready to jump, but just working on the nerve. Yeah. Yeah, so hear that. All right, so I'm just going to see if Teresa Kimball's still here, because I'm not going to read for people who are not here. And I know there's a bit of a delay there. Hi, Matt. Hi, peoples. All right, and is Lee, well, Lee's here, but I'm just gonna see if Teresa's here, and if not, then, all right, I'm gonna read for Lee. So Lee Kilpatrick. All right, so yeah, you have to be live. I probably should have said that in the start. Okay, Teresa's still here. All right, I'm just gonna read for Lee first. So Lee Kilpatrick, music for manifesting. Now this is interesting when this card comes up, yeah? So it's like this, to manifest rapidly, think of your desire while you chant, hum, sing, or play music. And all I'm like hearing in like my ears, I've just been in the ear chakra consciousness, so my clairaudience is like, yeah. This is like, there is a song that wants to come out of you. So I don't know if you're like a music person, Lee, or not, but you're so welcome, Tammy. But this is very much around like, there is a song that wants to come out of you. So whether that is literally like a music song, like whether you're a singer or you just want a voice, like whatever, there's literally a song that wants to come out, like, you know, in this humming. So while you chant, hum, sing, or play music, there is this sense of like, you know, whether it's not a song, it might be like a resonance or a frequency, or I say music, like it does feel like there is something, you know, there is something about the music or something. So when we, to manifest rapidly, think of your desire while you chant, hum, sing, or play music, there's also like, so when I'm journaling or meditating, obviously meditating, we can do still mind meditation, but also with like journaling. So I'm journaling and writing my reality into existence. Like I've literally got my earphones in and I'm using the music as an amplifier or an anchor, right? So when we're working to manifest things in our life, we can, you know, an anchor is like a pressure point on our body or something like that, and it kind of like solidifies in that feeling. And so when we're feeling low, we can like kind of press it again to be able to, you know, like bring ourselves back up to that vibration, right? So Lee says there is both song and message to come out. Yeah, I'm getting that really, really strongly for you. Like it's quite important. And it's almost like the song of your heart or the song of your soul, which is kind of like a no-brainer ultimately when we're really birthing our soul creations out. But I feel like this is like wanting to come out like more sooner than you think. Like it's so important that you bring that to earth. Yeah, it's like your song, your soul is wanting to be heard on such a deep level at the moment. So yeah, so let your voice be heard. Let that come out. There was something else that was coming through about that. What was that? Oh, this is going to heal your heart. So whatever comes out of you with, you know, your song, your message, it's also healing your heart. So whether that's for a past relationship or something like that, like whatever's in your heart, that's going to heal your heart and almost like mend it back together or something. Like, I don't know. And I guess when we birth the song of our soul, that heals our heart because we're living our heart and soul. Does that make sense? So it's like twofold in that. It's going to heal your heart, literally from whatever heartbreak or past stuff. But that is also, you know, like it's twofold. Yeah, I know you guys get it. All right. So that's the message for Lee. So I was also asking, thanks Tabitha, about my hair. So is Solomon still here? I talk about the owl. So Teresa, Teresa Kimball. All right, so Teresa. Why don't men join the live feed, only women? There is some men, I know there's a lot of men that watch it, they don't really communicate much. So there is men here, and there is a lot of men in reality awareness too, but I notice they don't talk much on the feed. But you are, you guys are, I love it. All right, so Lee says, yeah, feeling that for sure. Boom, yeah, loves it. Loves it. We were talking about that loves it in the Reality Awareness support group. I think it was in there, or was it in the Trust Intuition group? Loves it. Yeah, you're so welcome, Lee. All right, this is for Teresa Kimball. All right, so I'm trusting that Teresa's still here. This is accept heaven's help. Yeah, accept heaven's help. And it's almost like, why are you not letting in the help? Like, why is, like, you know, like, look how many birds are coming down to help. And it just feels like you're almost like, you're like this, not like this. And it just feels like, why aren't you letting it in still? Like, and it feels really strong. And I'm getting the message, oh, this is the bottom. I was like, I need another card for you. And this was the bottom card, but it literally just picked off, like it just pulled off. So the healing the heart, yeah, loves it. Yeah, we were having that communication, weren't we? The loves it. Like, because that's what Paris says, and loves it. We all loves it. It's so good. So accept heaven's help. Like, why are you still pushing it away, right? And it's almost like this block in the heart, but it's almost like you want it to come in, but you're just not letting it come in. And it's like the question that I'm hearing is like, don't answer this question and answer this question. Like, what's wrong with the light? Like, what's wrong with the light? Like, you know, see the birds and see how much light is on the horizon, right? Like, you're sitting in the dark. See, she's sitting in the dark on the rock in the water, still deep in the subconscious, and all the light's trying to come in. Why aren't you letting it in? Like, what's wrong with the light? Like, is it going to hurt you? Is the light going to hurt you? Is it going to, like, what's the light going to do? You know what I mean? There it is again, blocked heart. Yeah, exactly, right? So I don't know if you guys saw my post last night. I'm like, are these cards for me? Because this is like, you know, the frozen heart. If you read my post that I posted not long ago, or several hours ago. But this is like, what's wrong with the light? Like, why can't you let the light in, right? And it feels like there's this tiny little thing for you, Teresa. Like, it's so little, but it's significantly huge at the same time, right? It's a really big little thing. Yeah, I'm just gonna get my daughter to put Adea out. I mean, to put Wuchi out, because he's walking around like he wants to go out. So yeah, so this is like accept heaven's help, but it's almost like this tiny little piece underneath. And I feel like this is like the final, like, unplug to your dreams coming true or something, the final little thing. And it's a very significant big thing. Like, it's I don't know how to describe it. So it's like this tiny little plug is the last little thread, and it's almost like that's the final aspect to this now being your new normal, right? It's kind of like, it's that tiny little thing. Yeah, Danielle loves that post. It's so powerful. Yeah. So Teresa says, I'm scared of receiving that love. Yeah. Okay. And so how do we shift that? It's like, okay, well, if you were to, like, you know, receive that love, then what would happen, right? Now, this is a purging journal tool, of where we come into, so on, like, so not in your good journal of creating reality, you just want to get a plain piece of paper, or just to pull a piece of paper out of something, right? And so at the top, you'd be like, what would happen if I received the love that I'm asking for, desiring, is right in front of my face, whatever, right? What would happen if I actually let it in? Yeah, and let your mind speak, like, start writing. Well, they would leave, or I would get hurt, or this would happen again, or blah, 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 blah. Like, and it might seem like it's negative, but it's really important to purge and voice this stuff out. Yeah. And so when we can write all that stuff down, then we've, like, purged it all out. And then this is so important. If you're going to do this process, you must do this next level bit, right? That list that you've just blurted all out, okay, all the things that are going to happen, right? It all comes from the mind. It's not coming from the heart. Then take that list and, oh, he's gone to sleep now. Sorry. Yeah, you got up for nothing. It's all right. He was just walking around and I thought he wanted to go out. So, and then take that list and literally write the opposite thing down of it, right? So for each sentence, it's like, well, then they would leave, or then I would get hurt. And then, so the opposite would be like, you know, what's the worst that could happen, that I could let that love in? well, then they're going to stay. Then I'd actually feel loved. Then my dreams would come true. And it's like, if stuff still comes up after that, it's like, ask those questions. It's like, so what would happen then? Like, you know, like keep asking that question, and you might be like, well, that's really negative, Hannah. It's like, well, this is how we release that fear. This is where we follow the thread and really allow that to purge out of our system, so it's not sitting in there and still a block. Does that make sense? So I'd really be working with that to, you know, let that in. Yeah, doing this. If you want to amplify that, on my website is the inner child meditation, or maybe you've already got it, the inner child meditation and the shadow meditation. So doing the inner child and the shadow meditation combined. So you do the inner child meditation, and then, you know, you do it, write all the messages down, come out of the meditation, and then you do the shadow meditation afterwards. And so you work in conjunction with each other. And if you do that over, say, a week or a month, and you do it, you know, regularly over the month, like that can really help to shift out the childhood beliefs of where they stemmed from, working with the shadow. So you're healing the person who hurt you in the first place, you know, like, and it might, you know, your inner child might come up at 5 years of age, or it might come up at 28 years of age, right? So for example, I'm 35, and it might be like, well, I'm not an inner child at 28, but it's in your past. So ultimately any age of yourself can come up. And so that's really powerful to help clear that out. So if you want to amplify that process, that's what I definitely recommend doing. Yeah. So yeah, you're so welcome. You're so very welcome, guys. All right. So do you guys want to give me another, yes, I'd love a card, please, for those of you who are online, so that I can have a fresh list to go for. I know some people jump offline and you have to be live to receive a reading. Mimi. All right, so I'll just let them come up. All right, Lena, you just jumped out of me. I know I read you the other day or whatever, but I was like, it stopped. It stopped when I was, yeah. So Lena, synchronicities. Your prayers and questions are being answered by synchronistic events. Notice them in order to increase their flow. So I'm really getting the strong message to work with crystals as well. For you, because obviously there's a lot of crystals on there, but I feel like that is amplifying the synchronistic events that are flowing out for you. Now I also feel like, I don't know, you're already using crystals, but I feel like this is really important to connect in with the crystalline energy. And hey guys, maybe that is the crystalline series chakra journey coming up that we're starting in a couple of weeks. That's, yeah, it's gonna be next level. That you knew you were gonna pick me, like literally the card stopped and like your name, and I'm like, I don't know, this is a message for you. So synchronistic events, but deep into the crystalline structure. So I know, I'm pretty sure, yes, you were in the full moon ceremony that we did, and the crystalline tree came through couple of months ago. That was like 2 months ago, I think. For some reason that's coming back, so I'll be recording that MP3 soon too. That would be really helpful for you. And even connecting the energy, that tree's actually been really strong for me this past week, so I'm so curious what comes up on the solstice moon. But yeah, so working with crystals, yeah, it would be really, really powerful in increasing the synchronicities or something. So yeah, can't wait for that. It's gonna be strong. Hey, yes, use them more. Yeah, there's something about the crystals for you there. Serena, I know that's like the worst thing in the fucking world. I'm really sorry to hear that. Really sorry to hear that. Okay, who's next? Okay, Matt Williams. All right, so Matt. All right, so there's a lot of people that have lost their, lost people on this live stream. David, I'm acknowledging that you lost your mom as well in January. And yay, see who, I think it was you, Matt, that commented like, why aren't more men commenting on here? I'm like, they're watching. I know they are. And I know they watch replays, and I know they're there. They just don't comment. So more men can comment and speak. It's okay. All right, so this is for Matt. Okay. 3. Past, helpful person in your past, present, father healing, alchemy. All right, I feel like someone has been a catalyst in your past recently that has like catapulted into realizing masculine issues in your energy field, in maybe the energetic structural makeup of yourself, which I know that you're a male and that sort of thing, but I feel like whatever's just happened in your recent past, helpful person, the cards are back front for me, Steve says, yes, we do watch. See, there's lots of men here. See, I knew. Father healing, so like big catalyst person has just like brought this to your awareness, like somewhat smack bang, like what the flip just happened, like, do you know what I mean? Like a co-worker. Yeah, so it just feels like really strong, like really dominating energy, and you say helped you, but it's almost like it's brought up this like, and I'm getting self-worth stuff. So like the yellow solar plexus, father healing is very connected to, what is it? Solar plexus anyway. But this is really bringing up that next level of like self-worth, abundance. Actually, you know what? I actually do deserve that. You know what? Actually, I'm tired of doing it that way. And actually, I actually deserve more, and I'm actually going to do more and receive more. Actually, I deserve that. It's not about doing more to receive more, but do you know what I mean? Like, it's actually like, actually, you know what? I do deserve that. And it's okay for me to have that. And I'm actually going to go after that, because why haven't I let myself have that before? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the energy of it. So in that, sometimes we are definitely, it's almost like, oh no, it's okay. Like kind of the opposite of that in a way. Is just like, oh no, it's okay, you can have it. It's okay, no, I'll be fine. Like, no, you can have it. Like, you know what I mean? And so actually it's like, no, why can't I have that thing? And I deserve that. And yeah, just had this convo with my father today about exactly that. And my father is also a boss. Okay, there we go. That's why I'm like, it's a really strong, dominating energy. I'm like, that would be why, because it's your dad, which is that, you know, it's like that strong masculine presence. And so the final outcome card is the alchemy, right? You have the Midas touch right now, and every project you begin turns to gold. And so in that, it's very much the, you know, when we decide and choose that we are worthy of our desires and we are worthy of what we, you know, want, and actually allow our heart to have what our heart wants, and like, you know what? I actually do deserve that. And actually, I am going to get that. And that's okay. Like, why haven't I ever done that before? Like, where have I been? You know, and that is reclaiming your power. And the alchemy card is like when we embody that level of power, and it's a very different power to an arrogant power. An arrogant power comes from a sense of lack of self-worth, and that's where control comes in. Yeah. Alchemy happens when we are grounded in our power on a very self-worth, I do deserve that, and actually it's okay for me to receive that, rather than, oh, I'm just going to get it. And, you know, arrogant, you can feel the energy, and the arrogant, like, I deserve that, and, you know, I'm going to do anything and push everyone out of the way or whatever to get, like, I don't know. You guys get it, right? And so when we look at that coming into our power in a deep self-worth, self-respect, actually, I do deserve that, this is where the magic happens. Yeah, this is where we come from a very grounded self-worth, know who I am, know what I'm going to get, know what I have to do. But it's from a deep internal place of worthiness, rather than a lack of worthiness of like, well, I need to do it to prove to everyone that I'm good enough. And like the arrogance energy is coming from fear, and the fear is a very contracted energy, whereas this empowering, grounded, I do deserve this, like, not like, well, I deserve it, you know, it's not that, you know, it's very different energy. It's hard to describe, right? maybe you can feel it. Looking forward to manifesting. Yeah. And so it's when you really connect in with your solar plexus and ask your soul and your self-worth, like, what is the next step? What is the next soul aligned step that I need to take? Like, and when you continue to show up from that place, this is where this also happens. Yeah. It is a twofold thing in, making our dreams happen and that sort of thing. So yeah. Yes. So that's your cards, Matt. Sounds like it was spot on for you. So awesome, guys. All right. So Haley. All right. Let's have a look. All right. So let's have a look here. Who is next? All right. So I'm just checking in with these comments so you guys are getting the hang of it. You're so welcome, Matt. All right, who's next? All right, is Shari still here? All right, and whilst I'm waiting for Shari, Nada. I'm going to pull a card for Nada. Okay, Shari's still here. Awesome. All right, so I'm just going to pull a card for Nada first and then Shari. All right, so Nada, what's your thoughts? It's important to only think about what you desire and not what you fear. So, and I feel like, Nada, I feel like you've been pretty good, but it's almost like almost in the past, 24 hours, it's almost like you had like a lift and you're like, yes, okay, cool, getting the hang of this. And then all of a sudden you just almost 10 step backwards, not 2, 10. And it's almost like you're like, oh, what is happening again? Like, no, and but I feel like this, what's your thoughts, is even when you dip down, for example, don't, it's almost like the watch your thoughts is coming in on a, don't even, I don't know how to describe it. Don't even beat yourself up for going backwards, for, going back or something. You know what I mean? It's almost like just catch it and keep moving forward rather than, going back, if that makes sense. I don't know. It's really strong. It's kind of just don't even go there. Don't even go there with thinking that. It's tricky to describe, right? So Nada says drawing. What did you mean by drawing? So I'll just wait for Nada's response there. And I'm about to pull a card for Shari as well. Nick says, when am I going to die? That's a really, why would you ask a psychic that question? I'm sorry, I'm not laughing, but just in a sense of I know people might want to know when they die. And ultimately, who really knows when anybody's going to die, because the future is not set in stone. And even our soul contracts and the times that we have chosen to exit the planet in whatever way, means, shape or form, we, there's they say we've got 5 exit points on the planet that we can choose to leave. So, and that's why people have near-death experiences, because actually their soul's no, I'm not leaving yet, even though that was a contracted time to leave. So yeah, just wanted to say that, that, even asking a psychic and them giving you nice, that's something I would never tell somebody, because even if I got an answer, because then they're creating their reality around that, when nothing's set in stone in the future. So there's no way that I would answer a question like that. I would answer it just how I've answered it. Okay, this is awesome. There's lots of men on this live stream. So yeah. All right. So Nada says, I always feel like I go backwards. I always feel like I go backwards. So deep down in the ocean. Okay. Yeah. So you always feel like you go backwards. And this is where the watch your thoughts. That's why I was like, okay, what is this message? I'm like, it's strong, but it's, so even when you feel like you're going backwards, your work now, right? Your mindset work, your spiritual work is to not even think that you're going backwards, okay? Like remove the word backwards from your vocabulary. Yeah, remove it from your vocabulary, because what's your thoughts? It's kind of like, oh my God, I'm going backwards again. Oh my God, I'm going backwards again. Like, so what's happening? You're going backwards again. You're going backwards again. You're going backwards again, right? So instead, like just remove that language from your vocabulary and be so mindful of your thoughts. What's your thoughts? Yeah. It's important to only think about what you desire, not what you fear, also speaking it, right? So in that, and you say you're scared of change. So when you say like, you know, going backwards, instead of that, right, just go, oh, this must be a, like, hang on a sec, I'm trying to feel into like what would be a correct terminology. Like it's not even a backwards, right? Because even if we, you know, like sometimes they say we're on a spiral, yeah, and we're going up the spiral. So if you can imagine a spiral going around and around. So even when we hit the point over here on the spiral, so we come around and we're going up the spiral, but over here, it's the same point, but we're like actually up the spiral. So we're not actually going round in circles and going backwards. Ultimately, we've hit the same point, but we're up another level of the spiral. We're up another level of the spiral. We're up another level of the spiral. Does that make sense? So if you can look at it like that, because ultimately we're never really going backwards. It's a bit like waking up from, you know, like waking into consciousness, like a spiritual awakening. Like we can't go back to sleep when that happens. Do you know what I mean? Like we just don't go back to sleep as much as we want to. So instead of thinking you're going backwards, just go, oh, I'm back on another level of the spiral. Because ultimately, I would imagine that every time you think you've gone backwards, actually you've come to the same point on another level spiral with another level of awareness, with another level of consciousness, with another level of like, oh, actually, that's what's going on here. I see, right? Because even though we're in the same spot, we're in a different place in our life. We're in a different heart center, we're different consciousness. Like we're always growing, right? So remove that from your vocabulary. And choose to think otherwise, right? And it's like, okay, cool. Like this is coming around again. This is interesting. Okay, this time I have this level of awareness. This time I'm choosing to do this differently. Therefore, I'm creating a different outcome. Okay, so that's really interesting. And then when you said you're scared of change, so everybody is. And it's so interesting. I've just come out of filming the ear chakra consciousness, right? And we're talking about the seasons. And ultimately, nothing is constant. It was a favorite quote I used to quote all the time when I was first started on my spiritual journey, and maybe because it's got something to do with one of my numbers in my chart or something. It's like number 5, and 5 is all about change. Change is the only constant thing in life. Change is the only constant thing in life. Every day we wake up a day older or a day younger, depending on what you want to think about it, right? Every day is a different weather pattern. Every day it still might be summer, but every day is different, right? In the air, in the temperature, in the, you know, the water that comes out of the tap, in the whatever. Like change is the only thing that's constant. Even though we might do the same routine and that's the same, at the same time, there's so much differentiation in that. Okay. Now, when we also remember that change doesn't become as scary, okay? And the only thing that is scary about change, or the person who is scared, is our inner child. Our inner child is the biggest person and where the fear comes from. And that's why inner child work is so powerful, because inner child work, you can get that meditation on my website, Day Younger for sure, yes. When we work with our inner child has the secrets of the universe. Our inner child is where our life purpose resides. Our inner child is where we're either fully trusting of life and everyone in it, and even ourselves, or we're scared of everyone and we're shut down from everyone and we're hiding away in a box. It's our inner child. Yeah. So you'd like to break through the spiral. Yeah. So you can definitely break through the spiral and come into other realities and dimensions for sure. But the first thing would be to create safety. Yeah. And then we can trust our intuition to be able to move forward, and then things don't become so scary. And we're also training ourselves, right? words and everything we think is also a training. We're training our brain. So it might be really hard and we still might be scared, but we continue to train ourselves and think differently and be conscious of other concepts, like the fact that, you know, everything is change is only constant thing. And I just looked at the bottom card of the deck for you as well, Nada, and it's protection. Yeah. So in talking about inner child, when I was talking about that, I was like, oh, there's like confirmation of that, right? So work with inner child healing to be able to, really help release that fear. Yeah. All right. So Lee says, I'm clearing out my life, letting the universe come to me. Yes. Awesome. There's lots of that, isn't there? Lots of stripping back, lots of stripping bare, lots of that. So Teresa says, what do we do if we are hiding away in a box? So again, the first thing, yes, like being conscious of the now. Yes, David, that's awesome, because that also brings us into, you know, like fear is only in the mind. And fear, like, again, fear serves us so we don't step out in front of a car on the road. Like, yes, it's a thing, like it's important, right? But fear can also overtake us to do things that we don't usually do and blah, blah, blah. So, and keep us stuck, right? So when we work with being conscious in the now, awesome, thank you for bringing this up. So inner child work, but also being conscious of the now is really coming into the heart space and the truth about the reality, because all the fears and all the, you know, what ifs, they're really stemmed in the past and in the future. They're really not in the right now. Like, when you bring yourself into the now, right? And it's so easy to do, right? You can do it right now as I'm talking. Listen to what you can hear. Bring your breath, bring your mind into the awareness of your breath. So on your inhale and your exhale. What is the air temperature? What air temperature can you feel on your skin? What is the sensation of the clothes that you're wearing touching your skin? Like, present moment awareness, like, is so powerful, but it's also a training. It's a training. I already shuffled the deck. It's a training of the mind thoughts, right? And some people think that meditating is that you have to stop all thoughts. And I'm like, no. Nobody can stop thoughts. Like, we probably wouldn't be in this dimension. Like, well, maybe we can slow them down, but it's not about trying to stop your thoughts. That's not what meditation's about. It's becoming the observer of what you're thinking, right? It's not detaching, it's just being conscious of what you're thinking. There's like two parts. There's the thinking mind, it's going da 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 da, and then there's a part of you that's going, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, but that comes with training, and a strict, disciplined meditation routine is the best way to train your mind like that. Yeah, or yoga, strong yoga classes. Lisa says, inner child meditation is fabulous. Yeah, so freaking powerful. So David says, fear is an emotion which is a reaction of the body, not the mind. The mind reacts to the heart and soul. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we hold a lot of stuff in our body for sure. That's why yoga is really powerful. Yoga taught me how to meditate. Serena says, yes, best meditation you taught me on the live on the now. Yes. Yeah, it's one of the most powerful and the fastest, guys. It's one of the most fastest ways to pull yourself out of whatever tizzy you're in. Like, take a deep breath, let your mind just focus on your breath, you know, blow it out, breathe it in, out. Like, let your mind focus on that, you know, like strong, heavy breaths. Do that a few times and it really just switches off, like, you know, everything else. So, yeah. And then combine movement with that. Yeah, that's the yoga. So Serena says, inner child healing is what I need. Trauma keeps affecting today. Fear. Yes, especially hard trusting I'm not being betrayed. Yes. Yeah, definitely work with inner child. It's super, super powerful. So back to Teresa's question. What do we do if we are hiding in a box, right? And that is a really awesome question, because again, it's about creating safety. And I always come back to it. The fastest way to create safety is to work with inner child. Yeah. So work with clearing out the traumas that are held in our body, in our physical body and our energetic body. And that's why some people have a lot of resistance to exercising or doing anything like that, because it makes them face what they're running from. So movement and keeping busy and, you know, all that sort of stuff is an avoidance of our feelings, because when we're stopped and we're still and we, you know, are you know, like busy, like we don't have time to feel, but if we stop, that's when all the feelings come up. It's like, So Alyssa says, I write a lot in the meditations too. Yeah, it's awesome because it kind of trains to channel and gets it all, you know, out sort of thing. So yeah. Yeah, yoga helps me connect with my body so much. Yes, exactly. Yes, I love that. All that you say, everything makes complete sense. Yes, thank you. Shelley says, become aware of the space you can create inside with the inhale. Yeah, definitely. There's so much you can do with it. You can breathe in colored light. You can create realms inside your body, which is really, really powerful. You can transform trauma just by your breath, by having that intention and being able to move it like that as well. Just with simple conscious awareness, there is so much that shifts with that, and the present moment awareness that comes with that. But again, like sometimes it's really hard for people to face because there's some hard shit in there, right? And it does take some practice. And that's why getting help from a mentor or someone you trust to be able to show you how to start. And then, you know, and this is what I'm passionate about, is teaching you the tools, how to do it, so then you can do it for life. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm not like, hey, come to me and I heal you, because that's like, I don't know, pointless. I don't have time for that. I don't have time to heal 8 billion people, but I have time to create something that helps you to, you know, heal yourself. And yeah, that's where I enjoy working with. All right, this one is for Shari. So I'm trusting Shari's still here. Shari, pay attention to notice the repetitious signs and your inner guidance, as this can yield valuable information. So this is very similar to watch your thoughts, but it's also not. Pay attention to your intuition. What is your intuition changing, like telling you, right? I feel like your intuition is changing and you're doubting that, okay? Or you think it's changing and you're doubting that. Regardless, you're doubting the decisions you've made. And I feel like, no, I feel like there is a bit of like a turn. So you thought you were going this way and like, no, now you're going this way. But I feel it's still on the same path. And I feel like the message is covered in goosebumps, truth bumps, don't doubt the twists and turns and changes that you are taking right now. Yeah, it's like, notice repetitious signs and your inner guidance, as this can yield valuable information. It's almost like you made the decision and you're like, cool, yeah. And I feel like the little turn that I just said there is more about, actually, this is like your intuition is just, it's like little pieces along the way. So you're still going in that same direction, but it's like, hang on a sec, you just need to fix this little bit up, and hang on a sec, there's this bit here. Like, it's not like, it's like, cool, all good to go. Like, you are, but your intuition, it's almost like cleaning up the threads along the way or something like that. So don't doubt, like it might seem like, oh, I'm not supposed to do it now. It's not that. It's like this little bit needs cleaning up and this little bit needs cleaning up. So you can like walk into the direction you've chosen, like the direction you're going, the choice you've made, with a clean slate. Does that make sense? Sorry, I know you waited ages for that card to come through there, but I feel like that's such a strong, clear, direct, simple message in a way. It's like, you know, it's just like you've made a decision, that's what it is, but it's like you just need to keep, it's just like a bit of cleanup, yeah? And it, like I said, it might seem like your intuition's going, oh my God, are we going this way now? Like, it's like, no, it's just like you need to clean this little section up and just keep going. Like, intuition's not a straight line. It's like this, yeah? So, yeah. So if it seems like you've made the wrong decision, you haven't, you're just cleaning up threads along the way. Because look at the bottom card of the deck. Ta-da! Have faith. Oh, hang on, it's hard to show it on the side. Have faith. That's the bottom card. Your prayers are manifesting. Remain positive and follow your guidance. Ding! See? See, you are doing the right thing. It's just a matter of following the twists and turns, yeah? Cats change negative energy to normalize. Moo. She's fast asleep. David says, most nights when I go to sleep, I begin meditating, fall asleep, and throughout my sleep, I have meditative dream-like experience where whatever and whoever I encounter, I do my best to fix and share love until I wake up. Yeah, sounds like you're healing in your sleep, healing others in your sleep. You help us to help others. Yes, I'm very passionate about that, because we can all change the world together if we all we all do it, you know. So Nita says, what is written in the Akashic records, can it change? Is it a good idea to look at contacts knowing they may change? When you say, is it a good idea to look at contacts knowing they may change? Can you just give me an example? Like, because it makes sense and it doesn't make sense. So when you say, what is written in the Akashic records, can it change? I believe that it can. Is it a good idea to look at contacts knowing they may change? Like, do you mean contacts in a physical reality? Or do you mean contacts in the Akashic records of people that you know in this reality? Like, does that make sense? I just need clarity on what you're asking there, Nita. I'm just going to pop in the inner child meditation in the link in the comments. It's $15, guys, and that's like ridiculous for the healing that you get in it. There's training videos in there. There's like 5 training videos on like directing you exactly how to use the meditation, how to get the best out of it, how to, you know, what happens if something goes wrong in there, like your inner child's not talking to you or something like that. So please, 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 if you get the inner child meditation, please take time to watch those training videos, because they're very self-healing and able to use that meditation, you know, in a deeper way. Also going to put in the Akashic record meditation. I just released that the other day. You've probably seen it floating around, but that one can literally change our timelines. We can change our past and rewrite our past so that we have a clean slate moving into our future as well. And being able to like find our life purpose gifts and reclaim gifts from past lives as well. So that one's $15 as well. But yeah, those ones there for you. So, all right. So no, okay. So I'll just answer Nita's question here. So contracts. Oh, contracts. Okay. So can we, I'm just going to find the comment again. So is it a good idea to look at contracts knowing they may change? So a contract changes when we choose to change it. You know, when you ask, like, does a contract change in the Akashic records by itself? Like, who really knows? Ultimately, I would think no, because we would need to change that ourselves, right? But who really knows, and the power of the universe and the whole collective massive thing that it is of like everything combined, of everything changing all the time, you would think it would change it. But at the same time, we are also the controller of the belief systems that we hold, which is the contracts we also sign on a soul contractual level, that we are really the only ones that can change that. But as we all evolve as a collective, is it changing it all together? So that answer to the question is, yeah. So the purpose of, say, the Akashic records, you've already got the Akashic record meditation. Yeah, so it's so beautiful. That one, like, in there, guys, I should say, is the bonus in there. I haven't even said that on the sales page, but the bonus in there is me at the beach. So that meditation actually channeled through live on a live stream, like real time. And that was at the beach, funnily enough. That's the way the whale came through, I guess, taking us to the Akashic records. But diving deep down into the subconscious, there's a bonus in there. You can literally watch the live replay in there at the beach. It was so beautiful that morning. So yeah, so you can literally, you know, like the purpose of that is to be able to change belief systems, is to be able to change, you know, soul contracts, to be able to change like your reality. Like, you know, like if there's things in your past, like you think you might have healed, it's like worth going in there and actually looking at, you know, like, is there something still holding me back? What can I shift and change to be able to move forward? And then also, yeah, the other bits in there. So when you say like, is it a good idea to look at contracts knowing they may change? It's like, well, do they change, or is that up to us? So I'll leave that with you. Haven't done it yet. Yeah, it's so beautiful. If family relationships are difficult, can we change our contracts? We definitely can. And it's definitely about, you know, being able to, you know that we can change our end of the contract. Yeah. So even if, you know, because it's like we don't have control over someone's destiny or somebody's Like, we can't change anybody's contract. We can't do that unless we have their permission, right? Is my belief anyway, because, you know, believe what you believe, I guess. Anything's possible in this universe and reality, but nobody can change your contract for you, right? So when we're looking at relationship dynamics and family dynamics and relationships and those sorts of spaces, like, we can do our work. We can do our work, which affects the energetic relationship. Someone else had a relationship question on here. This will probably help you. I just saw someone, Tammy, this will probably help you. So when we do our work, right, and we want to change, even if it's just our life, because we're like, actually I want to up level or whatever we're doing, we can do our work. We do our inner work, we do our mindset work, we're doing all this, you know, shifting and changing and blah 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 blah. That may affect, so like say there's a cord or web or whatever we're connected to this person, that will energetically affect them. Like, they'll feel those changes, right? Because not only the changes in you and what you're doing, but you've also then changed the line of energy. You've changed the relationship dynamic that you have with that person. Now, two things happen in that space is that this person feels it and they start to get agitated, controlling, like they can feel something. Sometimes that person's not conscious of what's going on. Like, they just feel a change. They're like, you're different. You're not the same person, right? And what's happened is the energetic relationship has changed. I don't know how to say it. It's the dynamic of the relationship has changed, right? So say if you're like, say for example, you're a people pleaser, okay, in the relationship, and you do everything for this person, okay? When you start growing and changing and you're like, well, I'm not a people pleaser anymore. Actually, I'm not going to do that anymore. And then this person's like, hey, hang on a sec. How come you're not doing that for me anymore? Like, what? Like, and again, it's not very, sometimes the person's conscious, sometimes they're not. And they just feel a change and they're like, oh my God, like what's happening? And either they'll latch on harder or they'll get into more avoidance because they're not facing the relationship change. They're just like, oh, something's different and I don't know what to do about this. And they'll just disappear or whatever, go into more avoidance strategies, right? Addictions or whatever. But when we grow and change and evolve, like, again, that energy can affect the person. Now, like, in a way that, you know, if we're growing and evolving, obviously our vibration's rising. So those higher vibrations are coming into that person. This person will either wake up, shift and change with you and accept and like rise into those higher vibrations with you, or that person will stay here. And that's why that relationship gets harder, more toxic, shift and stuff. And it's not to say that eventually that person will shift with you, right? But we have no control over whether they do or not. Now, we might have a conscious conversation with that person and, you know, and you know, they might go, oh yeah, cool. And they'll shift and they'll grow with you and you'll, you know, grow. And that's what happens in relationship. But if you have a conscious conversation with that person and they're like, no, I'm not coming, like, you know, it'll get to a point where you probably won't be able to stay in that relationship anymore, because if you're going to continue to grow and evolve and do your thing and follow your soul's calling and all that sort of thing, 99.9% of the time, you can't stay in that relationship if you're going to keep doing your thing. Like, yes, and I say that and I'm like, oh, I don't like saying that, because there are relationships where people are doing their thing and they're with the person who's not growing. Everyone grows, but, you know, for me personally, I feel like it does get to a point in a relationship where it's choice point, and you either stay here at this level and it's kind of fulfilling and it's not, it's like, you know, but if you really want to fly, I think it does get to that point where you do need to make choice point, right? Yeah, naturally fizzles out. Yeah, very insightful, thank you. Yeah, so why did we start talking about that? Oh, because we're talking about the relation, the soul contracts and the like, can we change a contract? And is it, you know, do we change the contract or not? It's kind of like, well, you know, we might have come together, right? And we have that, you know, connection, and then we keep growing, right? And we might grow together for a bit, but then it gets to a point, and again, it's like, you know, if that soul contract of that own person's life journey isn't to get any more further in that spiritual evolution, it's like that's where we're like, oh, it's not resonance, and it can get very toxic, it can get very hard, it can get very nasty, it can, you know, and that's the thing where it's like, okay, where's the intuitive point where my soul's like, okay, time to leave? And if you don't, that's when it's like, yeah, like just the energy, because the vibrational dissonance is just too much in a way. Do you know what I mean? That's my understanding of it anyway. So yeah, I can see that in my marriage, yes. And again, I don't, you know, like I'm not saying like you have to leave them and that's like the final thing, like, but you will feel within your own soul and your own self whether they are going to shift, or whether it is in your soul contract and your purpose and your soul's calling to, this is going to sound really judgmental, but just ease of explaining it, okay? Or whether it's in your soul's evolution to, I don't know what the words are, to reach a certain state of accepting these people's vibrations and mastering the point of being able to be in a relationship with this person. Now that comes in with a key factor. This is a so important key factor in that soul contract evolution. You're going to stay together. That this person needs to wholeheartedly accept you where you're at. That means that ultimately they would be growing, because they'd be looking at their own sense of lack of self-worth, because you're rising and growing and glowing in your business or whatever you're doing, right? As most independent, like strong women do these days. And it's just our culture and society's moving into that, or is at that point, right? That this man must be strong enough in his self-worth and his self-esteem and his, like, because a lot of men can feel emasculated in this space, right? But who's to say that, you know, and this is a thing where a man can be in a relationship with a woman who is like that, for example, and I'm talking vibrationally or something. I know it sounds really judgmental, but it's just for ease of understanding the dynamics, okay? And if that man does the work, he fully accepts the woman in that level of vibration, right? Because he needs to have that acceptance and self-worth on board for himself to be able to even have it for his woman at that like higher point, if that makes sense. So Tammy says, I'm very fortunate that my partner is shifting with me and lifting me to beyond what I thought was capable of. It's beautiful when you're with the right person. Yes, exactly, right? And that's where it's kind of like in that space of being able to have the relationship where it is. And that's the thing, it's kind of like you might outgrow them, but then they kind of like reach a point where they're like, well, actually, no, I am going to come with you and I accept you. So it is like this, right? It is that higher lifting up, yeah, but it has to be on that mutual ground of understanding. So who says you're not at this the whole time then, in a way, you know what I mean? So yeah, so I know that sounds really judgmental, but it's just for ease of understanding the energetics and dynamics in that situation, right? Love will need to be unconditional. Yes. It's hard when it's a family or sibling that we need to let go of. Yeah, and that is hard, and it does come at a point. And the thing with family, coming back to that, Nita, is what's helped me get through it is I always look at it as though it doesn't have to be forever. In a sense, especially with family, usually we go through times and sometimes we never speak to them again. But sometimes we have time apart, and that could be years apart, right? And we grow, they're doing their own thing. Who knows what they're doing ultimately? They could be growing, we might not know that, right? And when we let go of them for a time, you know, like years later, it might be fine again. You might grow in yourself in a way that you're like coming to acceptance of, you know, what we're talking about, acceptance. So we come into acceptance of this vibration. Like sometimes we can grow so rapidly and then we have a judgment of these people and we don't even realize it. And that's where the separation comes in. And sometimes we need that walk away space to be able to come back and go, oh, right. Like, and it's not that we're higher than or better than or less than. It's just that we have grown so much. We come into a deeper resonance of understanding what that energy even is in our own life as well. Like, and what that represents in people in our own life too. So for me, for family, and, you know, obviously I've let go of a lot of family, but in my head, it's never been forever. I'm like, you know what? This is just how it is for now. I just need to do my thing. And, you know, I know it's going to come back around. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it has been a couple of years for some of them, but I know that's not forever. You know what I mean? So, and the reason I'm sharing that is because even when we're setting up a new exercise routine or supporting ourselves with a new meditation routine or something like that, this is why, same with the inner child meditation, I say do it for 7 days, do it for 21 days, do it for 30 days, pick a time limit, okay? And the reason is because the ego functions better with a time limit. Like, oh, 7 days, I can do that. It's no worries. You say do it forever, and it's like, oh my God, I can't do forever. Like, you know, like it's just something about it, right? We'd be like, okay, it's just a couple of years. Sweet, I can manage that. You know what I mean? Something psychological that happens about that. So yeah. So Leanne says, if they choose not to shift and it's not good for you is what I mean. Yeah, that's the thing. You have to, choose what's right in alignment. And again, it's like, you know, it can always change, right? And this is where when we're doing the work, this is where the vibrations of what we're doing filter down into all the people on the same web in the same reality. And that, you know, enables the shifts to occur, like, you know, so yeah, it is an inside out job for sure. But yes, you have to be around the right people too. It's definitely a thing. So trust yourself. All right, I'm gonna do, I know I've probably been speaking on here for ages again, but I'm gonna do another person on psychic reading. So if you guys wanna give me some, yes, I'd love a reading if you're still here, because we've been talking about lots of stuff. Soul contracts and all sorts of things. Can't log off, yes. So interesting. There only needs to be one light in the darkness, yes. All right, so I'll give some more comments. So awesome. I love that you had that connection before she passed, David. It's always important. All right, so this Shelley Lyons, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, Shelley Lyons. So I'm going to pull a card for Shelley. So this one, ooh, look what we just spoke about, and look at the card I just pulled. Time to move on. How interesting what we just spoke about. And then this is the card. It's time to let go of the old and worn out so the new can come in. And look at those beautiful colors on the horizon in the sky. Sun setting, sun rising, who knows? But this is very much connected. Well, I'm getting the message for you, Shelley. Whatever you have been thinking about lately is correct. And the reason I point out the colors in the horizon and stuff is because all that purple and stuff is, purple is the ear chakras, here's the crown chakra, indigo is the third eye, and the pink is the ear chakras. So your intuition, what have you been hearing? What have you been, like, what has the clairaudience been speaking to you? You know, like, what is the visions you've been having about your future life? Like, is this the life you want to like continue? Like, is this what you want to live in? Like, what are the thoughts that you've been thinking about? You know, like, that's it, just like, it feels like you already know this answer. And I feel like, I don't know, is it to do with a relationship or is it to do with career? It feels closer to home. It feels more in your home environment. And I'm also getting that it feels like it washes over you in a big wave and you're like, nah. I'm not doing that. Like the big waves, yeah? Oops, big waves. I've been talking all day and filming all day, so I'm losing my voice. Probably been on here for way longer than I realized again. So anyway, so time to move on. So like these big waves, yeah? These big waves are like, of like whatever goes on and you're like, nah, I'm done, I'm out, not happening. And then it's almost like the big wave comes and then the wave recedes and it's like, yeah, it's okay. Yeah, the water is the emotions as well. And it's interesting because what's your thoughts is the bottom card. Now I know this came out earlier in the readings here today, but it's like, it's important to only think about what you desire and not what you fear. You're so welcome, Teresa. This here, and with this one combined, I feel like this is a really strong message about what have you been envisioning of your future life. So I'm not sure if you consciously do you know, visualizations, meditations, journaling to create your reality and your dream life. I would be surprised if you haven't, because I feel like that manifestation work you've been doing or thinking about is actually fueling, that's why this is coming up, because what you've been envisioning is not in alignment with your current reality. And that's why I'm like, it feels closer to home. So is that like a move in the house, like house moving, or is it to do with your relationship? And I feel like the answer's coming. I feel like you're still on the fence. I feel like you're like, yeah, okay, nah, yeah, okay, nah. But again, the like most important thing to take away from this is that whatever you've been thinking about, envisioning, you know, moving in like your future reality is because it's not in alignment with your future reality. Like, do you know what I mean? So surrounded in chaos from a move and a relationship breakdown. Okay. So, and that's where it's like, it's happening, and the thoughts and everything, it's like, because of what you've been wanting ultimately is not in vibrational alignment with that. And there's a lot of people that are in that, it's almost like the rug's being pulled out from under their feet. It's like, but this was the way it was supposed to be. Now, where was I talking about this? I don't know if I was talking about it. I think I might have been talking about it on a support call. I don't think I was talking about it publicly. That's why I'm trying to remember where I was talking about it. Because energetically in the universe, maybe I was. It feels like whatever our universe is, I think I was talking about it. Sorry, I'm trying to remember. Our Earth and solar system has been traveling through space, right? And I said a while ago that we're in this like cube, and it's like, which is reconfiguring energetic codes, this cube, and it felt, that's why everything felt like at a standstill a couple weeks ago. And it's kind of like, which way is it going to go? Because literally we're like in this thing, it could go any which way, right? That's how it felt. Now I feel like we've started to move forward again, like as a collective, as a solar system, as a whatever's happening in the sky, right? Whatever's happening around us, whatever. And in that now forward movement again, I personally feel like in that space, so many people's timelines and soul contracts and everything shifted. So coming back to Nita's question, well, do the contracts change? It's like, that's why I was like, well, do we change that? Or is the collective helping shift and change that? Or, right? It's like, it's what came first, chicken or the egg? It's like, is this why I'm conscious of not saying this is how it is and this is how it is, because ultimately there's like unlimited possibilities, right? And that's why I'll give all these things, and then I want you to tune into what's right for you. So coming back to you, Shelley, like this time to move on, like I'm wondering if then it feels like it's been a shock for you, like it was like you didn't see it coming, and I'm wondering if that's how you're feeling about it. And that's where the watch your thoughts is like, you know, like why is this happening or something. And this is where I feel like in that reconfiguring space, literally timelines were changed, and humanity's timelines were changed, and soul contracts, like timelines collapsed. Like I really feel like that happened on a big collective level with whatever we've moved through in the universe, and that's due to people's thoughts and feelings and stuff at the time. Oh, and look at that card that's jumping out now, is the Divine Magic card, right? And I'm going to pull another card. And so this is for you, Shelley, but I also feel this is for a collective too. Extra magical energy surrounds your situation right now. Expect miracles. And this is because with that, you know, like in that energy, and this is what I said, like there is like unlimited possibilities in all these realms right now. Like, you know, like there is so much options on the table. Which one are you going to choose? Now, it might not feel like that when you say you're in this chaos right now and you're like, you know, but I feel like it might have come as a shock, or it, you know, it's just like, what the hell? And so, and I feel like that's where the waves, I was like, this wave, it's like, yeah, no, like, and it's like a lot of confusion and stuff. So the divine magic card coming out this is a really powerful thing, and like that just was sticking out when I showed the deck just before. And so I pulled another card consciously in what is the next message from here, and this is the one that came out. This is the morning affirmations, and say positive affirmations each morning to open up the gates of manifestation. And this is where I keep, and I've been saying for weeks, I'm like, the manifestation is like next level right now. This is next level manifestation of you know, affirmations of like anything that we want to come into our reality. It is literally this energy right now, and it's very much, yes, I'm in the ear chakra consciousness, and it's very much that in the ear chakras. It's like that's when physical manifestations hit reality, and so it's why it's extremely important to watch your thoughts, right? Total waves lately, yes. I believe that all energy is good until it's manipulated by bad intentions. Yeah, I believe that all energy is neutral and vice versa. Yeah. Yeah, Shelley says, thank you. Great clarity in words, complete reconfiguration. We'll keep trusting inner guidance, even in challenging times. Very grateful for your words. Yeah. And so again, like amplifying that, like moving forward is literally like this. Yeah. And so time to let go of the old and worn out so the new can come in. And that's what I was getting for you straight away. Like, it's like, it feels like whatever you've been intentionally creating or wanting in your life, or, you know, feeling good, it's like all of a sudden that vibration is just not meant to be there anymore. And this is where I feel like so many people went through that on a collective of like timelines collapsing, shifting, like everything was just changed, you know what I mean? And now it's like, okay, now we're going this way, and everyone's like, whoa, what just happened? Like, hang on a second, like that, I didn't see that coming. Like, do you know what I mean? And there's a lot of grief in that as well. So yeah, so watch your thoughts, only think about what you want, and then the morning affirmations after the divine magic. So yeah, manifesting time for sure, right? So get your affirmations out, get your journaling on. And I think it was for you, Lee, even I pulled the music for manifesting card. And that's where I say, like, I listen to music so that while I'm journaling, yeah, because it gets me in that high vibrational state, it brings my energy up. And then when I'm listening to that music during the day or at some other time, automatically those trains of thought of what I was journaling about, creating my reality, is connected to the songs, yeah. And so when I'm driving or whatever, that's the vibration, that's where I'm at, that's the reality I'm creating, yeah. So very, very powerful to use it in that way too. So guys, I feel like I've been talking all day, and I have with filming and then coming on here, but I felt really called to come on here tonight or this afternoon and share psychic readings with you guys. There's a lot going on, so just be mindful that we are leading into dark moon. We are leading into that eclipse coming up on the solstice in a couple of days, so we're 5 days away from it. Usually we hit and feel that in the 3-day window, but I feel like we're starting to already kind of feel that in a sense, yeah. And really starting to come into like I don't know, like it'd just be so interesting what comes through in that full moon ceremony. So if you guys want to join in that, we usually only do the full moon ceremony, but because it's the solstice and it's the eclipse, we're going to do a dark moon, new moon ceremony at the same time, which is this Sunday or Saturday depending. So Mercury's retrograde on the 18th, that's tomorrow. So lots of big things shifting. So there might be a lot of like stirring up the past, which I feel has already been going on, but I feel like that's coming out again. Like it's almost like it'll be next level of the like the past stuff coming out, yeah. 6 planets will be retrograde. Of course. Of course. Let's just make that even more, shall we? With the eclipse and the solstice. And yeah, so that's full moon ceremony. So if you join the full moon ceremony, you actually get access to the solstice ceremony on this weekend. So in a couple of days. And then you also get access to the full moon ceremony in the 1st of July or the first week of July. I think it's the 5th of July or something like that. Which is also the solar eclipse coming in, lunar eclipse. I think it's the next lunar eclipse that comes into that. So you can find that on my website, or I'll post about the full moon ceremony as well if you're wanting to join us for that. You can do that too. So nice. Enjoy your vacation and trust the intuition is open. You're so welcome, guys. Yeah, it's going to be so intense. I feel like this is such a portal, like, and those cards, you know, like the divine magic card, like I love that card so much. But it is really significant. Like it literally says in there, the next card that comes out, like notice what that's about. And it's like the morning affirmations manifestation. manifestation card. It's like literally like this is, yeah, such a powerful time on our planet, and everything that we're thinking about and feeling about is literally coming into play. So it's literally like it's like think, print reality at the moment. So it's, yeah, make sure it's of the highest vibration and what you want. So Trust Intuition is open, and Trust Intuition and the Inner Circle are closing next week as well on the 28th. So if you're wanting to find accurate, super on point intuition like myself, everything that I've learned and everything that I go through and fine tunes and acutely switches that dial even more with my intuition is taught in Trust Intuition. So you can do that course just to increase your intuition, but if you want to, you also have the option to become a certified intuitive healer and life purpose activator through Trust Intuition as well, which means that you can step up and do that in your business, being fully certified, plus gain insurance and be move in your business and be able to expand your business in a professional manner. Trust Intuition is awesome. Yes, I love your being in there. So Trust Intuition, but if you want it all, then the Inner Circle is where it's at. So with the Inner Circle access, you get Trust Intuition, you get the advanced certification, if you choose to do them, of course, and you also get access to everything. So you get the full moon ceremony, you get everything that I create in the next 12 months, and everything I ever have created is where you get access to that in the Inner Circle. Plus you get 12 months one-on-one access to me. So you get 12 months of me voice messaging and text messaging over WhatsApp, and that's getting unlimited. So any time of day or night, you've got any questions at all to help amplify your intuition or any situation going on in your life, if you're ready to take your life to the next level, the Life Purpose Accelerator is for you, and that is the Inner Circle, where you get access to everything. Plus there's phone calls every month as well through one of my amazing intuitive healers, and as to help expand and grow your business, or even fine tune and figure out what it is you're supposed to do. And this is where the Inner Circle helps you to amplify and not just get clear on that, but actually birth it into your reality. Yeah. So I shall put in the links for the Life Purpose Accelerator as well into here too. So when's my next reading? I'm not sure. I just do them intuitively. So you can turn on notifications on my Facebook page, Reality Awareness. So when I go live, you can be notified through Facebook of when I go live next. I don't always do them. I've been doing a couple of other different things lately as well, but like just other live streams. But I'm stepping up to do more psychic readings, which is exciting. So there's a link to Trust Intuition on there as well, or you'll see that on my Facebook page, or you can find it on my website. Send me a message if you've got any questions about it at all, and if you think this live stream could help somebody, please share it. Please tag their name in the comments. Please share it in a private message for them, or otherwise, if you're watching on YouTube, remember to like and subscribe, and I shall see you guys later. Love you guys heaps. Thanks for joining live.